Nova Online, a diaper diddler so many of us have come to know, carries with him a reputation that would scare thousands off the internet if they had the same. But you see, Gabriel, he's different. Despite the numerous discords that have imploded after fellas way too young were found in channels not safe for work, despite the video evidence of him showing off his diaper to someone who would need to use an airline's unaccompanied minor service if they were to fly alone, eventually catching the attention of famed PDF file catcher Gideon, what does the chome do? Well, he continues to persevere, an admirable trait if it were literally anyone but him. So Grubbas, why don't we take a look at what said perseverance has led the chome to get up to as of late. For all the mothers out there, your day is coming up on the 10th, so I'd like to wish you all a happy Mother's Day first of all. I'm sure a lot of you are about to get all sorts of gifts, flowers, maybe even get taken out to dinner by your family members or significant others, and I hope that you all do. But you see, our pal Gabriel here, he doesn't think you guys deserve flowers. No, he would hope that you aren't getting taken out to dinner either, because what Nova Online believes is the best gift anyone could ever possibly receive for Mother's Day is, of course, a cameo from him. Now, I can't say 100% for certain that all my Grubbas mothers out there would act the same, but I feel if I walked into my mom's place, wished her a happy Mother's Day, and gave her not flowers or anything typical, but a cameo from a proven PDF file, she'd probably slap me. On what planet would a mom ever wish to receive a little happy Mother's Day message from this guy, and what line of reasoning could the chome possibly be using in order to justify this to himself? Because picture this, say Nova wasn't a predator, he was just a cringy, quirky little guy with less than perfect hygiene habits, extremely niche micro-celebrity, I guess you could say, but even that's giving him a little too much credit. Why would a mom want a happy Mother's Day wish from you? You put out subpar food reviews and reenact WWE wrestling entrances the same way I would have recorded them on my 2nd gen iPad when I was 7 years old. Not exactly thought-provoking stuff, so given that hypothetical, adding in the disgusting predator Nova is in real life, why would anyone's mom want this cameo? This line of advertising his cameo is just intriguing, and I can only assume it's because there's another big and impulsive purchase he wants to make rather than helping his mother out with utilities or something. Which makes this even funnier and sadder at the same time, because not only is he asking other fellas to waste their money on a cameo of him wishing other moms happy Mother's Day, but I'm 100% sure none of that cameo money is going into helping his mom in any way, shape, or form. And he would shill this little advertisement of his cameo not once, but twice. I hope there's no poor mother out there, especially not those acutely aware of the type of person Nova really is, that will be getting a cameo from the chome instead of flowers on the 10th. Well, McGrubba, what else has the chome been up to recently, you might be asking? Well, the heat has been on him for a while recently, and he's been in talks with Gideon, again, a very well-known predator catcher. He seems very convinced that he's got Jid entirely fooled, convinced of his innocence, that this is going to end well for him. Well, we'll just have to see about that. In the meantime, though, he can't have any other people like me, like Bloodspeth, Kiwi, Menace, Chilla, Greasy, or any other fellas who cover him, popping up out of the woodwork. He's been on a PR mission lately, most likely inspired by his newfound confidence in this conversation he's been having with Mr. Gideon. He's been trying his best to shoot down creators covering him in some sort of sad attempt at maybe keeping them from covering them moving forward, should their channel start to pop off, such as Velvet Propast, and shout out Puppet on a String for sending this over to me. But this person, Velvet, who at the time had under 200 subscribers, minding their own business, giving their own opinions on the interesting life and events of Nova, then here comes Gabriel out of nowhere on a video that not many people have come across to shut her down and drop an infamous SYMFMB. He's trying his best to scare these small creators into shying away from exposing him for the predator he is, attempting to silence the masses and control public opinion of him, but this will never work out for Gabriel. Far too many people know the truth. It's pointless. All we get out of this is him maliciously commenting under small creators' channels for no reason. Along, of course, with the knowledge that this fella is genuinely seeking out and hate watching probably every video out there that talks about him. So Nova, I know you're watching this. Why don't you pay utilities for your mother on this Mother's Day, man? Lord knows she's had to deal with way too much because of you and your bad choices. Now, we mentioned his bad hygiene habits at the beginning of today's video, and we see what's most likely a consequence of that in one of his recent videos. Maybe a case of wearing headphones too often mixed with general uncleanliness. Gabe ended up giving himself an ear infection, which God knows isn't from getting water in his ears from showering or anything, of course.
Jack in the Box came out with 2 brand new items, and we're going to be trying the sliders and the mozzarella sticks today. Kind of forgot what they were called. I'm still dealing with an ear infection, so if I sound like I'm in pain, it's because I am. But let's start with the sliders because I don't want my asshole to burn yet.
What an amazing food reviewer, because this guy wouldn't even go ahead and memorize what exactly he's trying. He saw that a fast food place put out a new meal, immediately he was on that. He didn't even care what it is. He was just ready to house it on camera so he could use that as a little tax write-off to make that meal a little cheaper. And again, that kind of plays into the fact that he never, ever hits that record button twice. First take only. He's never going to bother re-recording when he coughs, forgets what to say, or even sneezes. Because why would he? That's a waste of time in his eyes. Not to mention, he didn't feel like putting his 18 plus watermark on this video, a video where he just started talking about his asshole for no reason. He's like, oh, I don't want my asshole to burn. Now, that's okay for his under 18 plus fans to hear, but then he randomly decides here and there that the most mundane things that probably could be viewed by someone of any age has to be 18 plus. I really want to know where exactly this guy draws the line between what's appropriate and what's not for someone under the age of 18, because clearly, just from the Nova files alone, we know that that line's drawn in the wrong spot, but where does that line actually get drawn for him?
Exclusive property of
McGrubba.
on TikTok and YouTube. They're really good, really flavorful. You can tell the beef is fresh, and I really love the sauce that's on it. Alright, and now for the Carolina Reaper mozzarella sticks. Someone in my Clash of Clans clan told me to try these, so pray for my asshole.
And again, we have him talking about his asshole yet again in a video where he didn't put his over 18 tag on. So anyone of all ages can watch this video, so why are you talking about your asshole so much, dude? It's so weird. And it's kind of ironic here, because if we're talking about anal fixation in terms of Freud, and I'm speaking from what I remember from my high school psych class, it's that, anal fixation, you're fixated on being a perfectionist, or you're incredibly organized, and that's if you're retentive. Or if you're anal expulsive, which I believe is more likely Nova's case, you'd find yourself being an extremely messy person, and nothing quite describes our friend Gabriel like messy other than maybe predator. So there's your little armchair psychologist segment from McGrubba.
Bone apple teeth. Okay. It's got a kick, but with Carolina Reaper I expect more, which is why I said pray for my asshole. It's barely spicy. Maybe the spice builds up after a while, I don't know, but the flavor is decent. So, all in all, I'll give the Smash Jack sliders a 7.5 out of 10, while I will give the mozzarella sticks, I'll give them a 6 out of 10. No Vine Universe, signing off.
My asshole, and also this food's kind of spicy. No Vine Universe, signing off. Now, my subpar impression of Nova there was all that food review could really be amounted to. I do wonder why he's mentioning that thing so much in a video he hasn't labeled as 18 plus. But no one could truly understand why Nova makes the decisions that he does, and that couldn't be more the case with this next clip we'll watch, where a predator reaches out to yet another well-known, unsuspecting party in the hopes that they return a menu item that's too incredible to have been removed, in the process baiting this company to interact with a predator and sully their name.
Day 1 of pinging Olive Garden every day and glazing all their food until they bring back the whole wheat linguine. Let's talk about my favorite soups.
No, I don't think we're going to be talking about your favorite soups, Nova. I think that was all you needed to watch when it comes to that video. Him reaching out to this poor company, Olive Garden, hoping that they'll respond. They'll put this menu item back up there for him, the whole wheat linguine. And, it might be just me. I like Olive Garden, but there's no way that their specific brand of whole wheat linguine is tiers over like the store-bought kind. Like, I was expecting it to be some crazy dish, some crazy menu item that you can't get anywhere else, but like, seriously, Nova, how hard is it to go to the store and just buy some whole wheat linguine, whole wheat pasta yourself? I don't care how much of a stretch this may seem to say, but I think the fact that he's reaching out to this another brand probably hoping to get a comment out of them maybe, is a little predatory because I bet you their social media manager has no idea who Nova is. Say they come across their ads, they see this guy reaching out saying, "Oh, I love all these soups, you guys are the greatest, I really wish you'd bring the linguine back." They comment something, literally anything. They're immediately going to get so much negative attention just because they interacted with such a horrible person. So fingers crossed Olive Garden's social media manager doesn't come across that video of Nova. And one more thing before I let my Grubbas go, I'd like to highlight, considering we talked about Nova shilling his cameo yet again begging for more money, is that a few months ago he set a goal to raise $200 or $300 some dollars in order to fix his bike so he can get back to door dashing and making more money for his household. Well, we never saw him fix that bike, but we did see him spend plenty of money on things like a new work phone and a MacBook, so that money is long gone. However, it does seem like Nova's finally gotten around to bringing that bike to the shop and getting it fixed. But there is something about this video I'm about to show you that is very interesting and indicative of the kind of health that this guy's in currently. Now, I 2x'd that video for you guys because it was so incredibly painful to watch, but that was Nova struggling to get a bicycle, a tricycle, into the bed of a small pickup truck, and he was struggling so hard that he had to ask the elderly driver to help him get it into the truck. Now, I think watching that alone just speaks volumes to the kind of health that this guy's in. There's no 21-year-old, no one my age, without some actual physical disability or some sort of actual issue that wouldn't have been able to do that by themselves. So something has to be extremely wrong because that was just so awful to watch. And you know, you might be wondering to yourself, oh, well, that kind of looks like it was recorded from someone next door, someone sitting in their car very close to Nova's house in order to get video of him loading up a bike to be shipped off to be fixed. Well, there's been a new source who lives extremely close to Nova, a reliable source, and we might be getting a peek into an actual official investigation by his local PD and possibly FBI about the disgusting things that this guy's been getting up to. So we have these screenshots from this credible source saying, "Hey, not sure who you are, but I'm the guy who posted about Nova on the FB Post Falls info page. Saw that you reposted it, good for you. As you know, he's my neighbor." And this person inquires about anything else they may know about Nova, to where they say, "The only thing I know for sure is that he is under official investigation. An agent came by the other day and had him in questioning. I don't think he's innocent one bit, but I'm hoping the law enforcement will find justice and get him." So everyone around town, all of Nova's neighbors, know how disgusting this guy is. They know what he gets up to, and I'm sure he gets looks when he's walking around, going to these fast food places to pick up food for his food reviews. I mean, he's a danger to all the local kids in his area. They go on to say, "That's interesting. Do you know if it's local or federal?" To this person responds, "It looked like it was the local department, but he did mention the FBI and said if he finds any cheese pizza, he will get federal charges. From my yard, I can't smell him, but the fire department has came by 4 times in the past 2 weeks, and every one of them wore masks. It's very disturbing over there, his mother and him." I don't know what's worse, the fact that his friend that got interviewed by Bloodspeth not too long ago said that you could smell him from down the driveway, or the fact that the fire department, who were probably going there to chastise them about the fire hazard that the heat causes, had to wear masks just to enter or stand by that home. And of course, my Grubbas, this is not all talk. They provided a photo of Nova actually speaking to the agent, saying this was the agent writing down his answers from Nova, doing an official investigation into the depravity of this guy, which honestly, I'm extremely glad to see. I hope that they bring this guy to justice because he's a very awful person, and he's proven time and time again that he is very willing to reoffend. And I'm incredibly happy to see how seriously his local PD is apparently taking this vet investigation, because it's been a long time coming. Specifically on the front of that hit list that was made not too long ago. And to refresh your memory, he made a hit list of all the YouTubers or people that have wronged him, that he doesn't like, the people that, probably should be fearing for their lives with how angry Nova's been getting about them. In particular, Bloodspeth, whose name was specifically written and underlined in red ink, which on a hit list, one can only assume the worst. And again, to remind everyone, McGrubba made that list, so I am very scared still. Like, truly, I never know when Nova might show up and try to harm me. And we see that here when this person says, "No worries, man, glad I can help with some things. Do you know Bloodspeth?" They say yes. Then they respond with, the agent was asking Nova a lot about him. His name came up a lot in the conversation, especially when he asked Nova about his hit list and why Blood's name was in red writing. Now, Grubbas, I am truly just over the moon at the fact that the local PD and possibly the FBI are finally taking everyone's warnings about the chome seriously, because truly, I believe people under the 18 are in danger in that town when they're anywhere near Nova. Even people online, on Discord, the young ones, we have to protect the people who are under the age of 18. And one way to do that is to get Nova off the internet and in a jail cell. And one more thing I'd like to highlight from this incredible news source we have is that Nova's apparently too lazy to throw stuff away on his own and throws a tantrum when his aunt comes over to force him to clean. So who knows, maybe every single time he bragged about making progress on the heap, it was really after a long and hard battle fought trying not to clean with his aunt. But anyways, that's all we have on the chome for today. Trying his hardest to ruin people's Mother's Day, and hopefully finally seeing consequences for his actions online. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like and hype up the video if it was great, and if it was just that awesome, maybe subscribe too. Have a good day everyone besides the chome, and happy Mother's Day. Later, Grubbas.